Welcome to Training with People for People community. Together, we're making a real difference in the world, and now you're a vital part of that change. Let's get started on this incredible journey together.
Hello and welcome to the Development Department Community News Leader Training. We are People for People. I am Adriana Martinez. I am one of the executive directors in the Development Department. And with me today is Tammy Castillo. Tammy, you want to say hi? Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're so excited to have you here. So let's jump in. All right. Oh, this is so true. We are building something bigger together. And just like this says, it is so exciting. And it is so much bigger than you could ever imagine. We are building thriving communities with businesses and with community members. And it is all about creating connections that lead to strong, long-lasting relationships. We're also all about strengthening our supply chain so that we have everything we need. We're connecting community members with businesses. So we have the things that we need. We can purchase the things we need right here within our own community. And by working together, doing just a little bit, each one of us, we come together to create a stable economy for a brighter, better future. Yes. Oh my gosh. That is such a beautiful big picture. Thank you for sharing that, Tammy. Now I want you guys to hone in a little more. You've seen the big picture, and within that big picture is this department. We are the development department. And I want to share a little bit about how this development department, where it comes into play. In a community, you set up the connections department. After that's all set, now we're the development department and we set that up. We are establishing the development department. That's where you come in. That is what you are a part of. We are so excited to have you here. The development department, just to give you a little bit of context of what we're all about, we are dedicated to fostering meaningful relationships. And Tammy said it beautifully. It is about that connection. It is about the relationships, really, that drive that growth of the businesses, of ideas, of individuals. We are all about collaboration and relationships. And we do that through networking, through workshop, community news, and podcasts. These 4 development meetings are used to empower each other, to support one another, grow together, and promote that lasting success that we all want for each other. You are a part of this amazing vision, and we are excited to have you here. That's so exciting. Let's take a look at how we are organized to lead here in the development department. You start with your overall community, and within that community, there is a super mentor. A super mentor has helped get the community started, will help. You'll see a lot of support here in the development department. For example, in those pre-meetings, you'll see some other areas of support. That mentor is really helping that community manager. And that community manager has gotten those all things kicked off. They got the 2 development directors, that director 1 and that director 2. And as a community news leader, whether you're leader 1 or leader 2, chances are a development director reached out to you and said something like, hey, I would love to feature you and I would love to have you come and lead with me here in the development department. And here you are on your team with you, along with that development director, is a networking leader, a workshop leader, and a podcast leader. And we have that both the development director 1 has a set of 4 and the development director 2 has a set of 4. All together on the development department, there are 8 leaders and the 2 directors. Now, I do want to point out that you will start to see, as your department is up and running, you'll start to see some trainees coming in. So you will see some workshop leader trainees. That's because your department will start to look ahead. you'll start to look at expanding and growing. And we want to make sure there are trainees learning what you're learning right now, learning how to lead in these positions so that when you do get ready to promote to other positions, there are leaders ready to step in and take over. We all keep moving forward and growing together. Yes. And I want to talk really quickly about the development meeting structure. That is pretty general. It is how all of our meetings are structured, and it's for a specific reason. First things first is we have development meetings. That's networking, workshop, community news, and podcasts. And those are only 30 minutes. And that is so valuable. That is our signature style here at P4P. We're all about 30 minutes. And that is to make sure that it's efficient for ourselves and for our attendees and the members who are with us. Those 30 minutes are so packed with value and action, and it's so good. We do a lot in those juicy 30 minutes. And we also follow that 4-week rotation cycle of networking, workshop, community news, and podcasts. And we also have these leader meetings. Oh my gosh, you guys. Leader meetings are just as valuable as that development meeting. And I want to touch on them just really quickly. So, what are leader meetings? Leader meetings are the meetings that happen 15 minutes before each development meeting. And what happens there is that the development director will confirm that all the leaders are present, they're prepared to actually go into the meeting and make sure it runs smoothly. But not only that, we look to the future. We want to make sure that those roles and everything that goes on in those 30 minutes, again, action-packed, value-packed, that we are ready and prepared for next week's meeting as well. In these leader meetings, we also address any last-minute changes, any needs, and we will talk a little bit more about attendance and show rate and all of that fun stuff. But just know these leader meetings are so valuable and just as valuable as those development meetings. I do want to quickly add that we don't have regular meetings during the following. We don't have them during holiday weeks, event weeks, or the national conference. And if you're wondering, okay, how do I know when those are? Don't worry, because we'll talk about it a little bit later, but your back office has a national calendar that you will be able to see, and you will know when these weeks hit. So you'll know which meetings aren't happening during that time. Awesome. Now we've talked about the development department meetings overall. Let's talk about community news meetings. These are the meetings that you are specifically responsible for. Now, I do want to say that you will attend all 4 department meetings. You'll go to networking, you'll go to workshop, you'll go to podcast. But community news, you will lead the community news meetings. What is that going to look like? Community news, these are not your average marketing events. These are special. These are different. These are unique. How? This is a space for meaningful connection, for collaboration, for support. Here, we focus on amplifying each other's voices, sharing news that matters to the individual, to the business, to the community, and working together to extend that reach and impact as a community. No one here does it alone. Isn't that fantastic? Now, here's how community news works. Leader one is going to welcome the attendee. They're going to share out some announcements, and they are going to have gathered before the meeting. We'll have some news, and they're going to present that out. And they're going to gather from the Facebook group community news submissions. All of those community news submissions, you're going to share them out. And there'll also be an opportunity to live share right there in the meeting. It is a very cool way to share sales, events, promotions, milestones, all kinds of updates and events and news that are special. Now, leader 2 is going to manage the submission process by opening and closing the community news post in the Facebook group. so that community news can be submitted by all of the members. Leader 2 is also going to manage the breakout rooms. So lots of cool things for both Leader 1 and Leader 2. Now, there's more. This is not all that happens in community news. Every meeting has a growth activity. The growth activity for community news is really where the magic happens with community news. Members, we break them out into breakout rooms, and they get to engage with one another in these small, intimate groups. They get to share their news, and they get to really get to know one another. And they commit to posting and sharing that news out on their own social feeds. Why is this valuable? Whenever we share on our own social media platforms, our friends, our family see that. And that is so much more valuable than any ad because those people trust us. If we post something out, it has a lot of value. So by doing this for one another, we truly extend our visibility farther than any of us ever could do by ourselves. There is so much packed into this 30 minutes, and I have never seen anything like this anywhere else. It is so unique. It is so special. And you, as a community news leader, are making this happen on Community News Week. Oh my gosh, I know you're excited for this. So let me tell you what to do to prepare to lead. Here are a couple things. There's a checklist. First things first, we want to make sure you complete that educator and your community news leader training, which this is included. So you're doing a great job. Pat yourself on the back. That's fantastic. And then we want you to review the handbook. That's the next step. You will get access to the handbook once you complete this training. And oh my gosh, it has so much important information for you that you can read through, that you can look at, and you can practice, which is the next one. So that leads me to the third point. Practice those key skills and the meeting script. I will talk a little bit more about resources, but just let me tell you, if you're a community news leader 1, a community news leader 2, you have things to say during this meeting. Practice those. If you need to share a screen or if you need to do breakout rooms and you've never done breakout rooms, those are the key skills that we're talking about when we want you to practice on. And then we want you to attend a full 4-week cycle of the meetings to get that experience. And the way that you can do that is through a development department that is already up and running. They're established. They're getting things going. They've already started getting things going and they're there. They're running. And you can go and attend those meetings and get that full experience so you can see just how action-packed, how value-packed they really are. And last thing I'll mention here is join the Q&A Facebook group. Now, you will find the link to this Facebook group inside of the handbook. And all you need to do is go to that link and request to join, fill out the answers on the membership questions, and you're as good as in. All right. So once you complete these 5 things, you are all set to go. And let me pass it over to Tammy so she can talk about what happens next. All right. So you've done your training, you're set to go. So what can you expect now? Guess what? You will be eligible to earn profit points if you follow the 1+4 model. So you're going to want to follow the 1+4 model because you're going to want profit points. So check out the development handbook for full details on profit point and make sure you follow the 1+4 model. Also, you're going to have the opportunity to lead, teach, present at development department meetings. You're now ready for your community news meetings. You can now lead, which is so exciting. Your director will be available to answer basic questions. Now, what does that mean? If you need to know what time and day are your meetings, who's the leader this week? Am I leader 1? Am I leader 2? If you have basic questions that maybe you're just a little confused about, your director can answer those questions. Now, but what happens when you have really detailed, in-depth inquiries and you can't figure it out through the handbook and it's more detailed than what your director is prepared to answer, you take those questions to the Q&A Facebook group. We have your back. So you can expect to be fully supported and get your questions answered. Also, you're going to have full access to your back office. This includes access to your department's dates and times for all the meetings, your department's contacts. You'll have a list of that there. You'll also have access to the national calendar and so much more. So many exciting things. And like Terry said, we have your back. We've got you. We support you. We want to see you succeed in this role. But we have some amazing resources for you. They are located in the development handbook in section 3 that's titled Understanding Your Role. And then the subsection specific to community news leaders says training and resources. So you guys have quite a few resources in your section here. And I just want to go through them really quickly. First, we have the meeting agenda and the script. So this is talking about the meeting flow. How does a community news meeting really go? Tammy gave you an overview and explained what that looks like. This will show you exactly how much time is allotted for each section. And then if you keep scrolling down, which please keep scrolling down, you will see that script. Now, as Community News Leader 1 or Community News Leader 2, you have things to say in these meetings. This script will give you what to say so that it doesn't have to come off the top of your head. Once you get more comfortable, then you can start making it your own and you get that message right. But to start, we have a script for you so it doesn't feel so overwhelming. So make sure that you check it out. And that's what I was talking about when I say practice, practice, practice. It's looking at that script and reading it through. Next, we have the Community News Leader Checklist. Now, community news leaders, y'all are so valuable to this team. And there is so much to do because these 30 minutes are action-packed. What this leader checklist will do is help you stay on track. Now, you can go through every time you lead a meeting and check off that you've done those things. It has it for leader 1 and leader 2, and you can make sure you're staying on track and nothing is falling through the cracks as a community news leader. Next, we have these community news social media posts and captions. Now, what these posts are is like Tammy was explaining, it's the open post and the closed post. You have one for each and they have different graphics. Your open post will go out and it basically just has the community news is open and you have a caption for it and you post that. And then you have a closed one that you'll swap out that picture for, swap out the caption for, and you're set. And you do not have to create any of this. You don't have to write it out. It's already created for you. You just make sure that you take that image and you put it in there and you copy that caption and you paste it in there. It's very simple and straightforward. And we really want you guys to look at those because that is a part of your role as Community News Leader 2. It is your role to open the post and close the post. So you will be able to see that. And then to help you understand this process, because I know it's a lot of moving parts if you're just listening to this, we have a community news visual cycle process. And this is going to show you exactly when things move at what time. So you're able to see, okay, when do I open the post or when do I close the post? How do I do that? All of that's there in that visual cycle process. It's super, super helpful to check out. And then finally, we have the training video. Now, this training video is this video that you're watching right now. So that will be in the handbook as well. If you want just a refresher of what was covered today, or if you want to just reflect on some golden nuggets that were dropped here today, you can review that as well. So many fun things. I'm so excited for you. All right. So many great resources. Let's chat just a little bit about leading with commitment. What is that? What are we talking about? What is that expectation around that? Well, you're asked to attend your meetings a minimum of 75%. Now, what meetings? That is all development department meeting, your development department meeting. So that's the networking, the workshop, the community news, and the podcast for your development department. That is also those 4 leader meetings before each one of those meetings. Adriana talked about how valuable those leader meetings are. So your development department meetings and your leader meeting, a minimum of 75% attendance. Now, what happens when you just can't be there? You're asked to ensure that you have backup. And the process for that is really detailed in the handbook, but you are going to reach out to one of the other leaders in your development department, not the other community news leader, because they already have a role they're going to be performing at the community news meeting. So it will be one of the other leaders, workshop, networking. Once they say yes, you're also going to then give them a little background, let them know which leader are you, community news leader 1, community news leader 2, and help them with what resources they need. What do they need to do to perform your role while you're gone with commitment? What do they need to be successful in your absence? You're also going to keep your leadership informed when you're going to be out. Let them know. And let them know that you've secured backup. Now, prepare to lead by practicing your role. Practice, practice, practice. We cannot say that enough. You have so many great resources, but if the first time you try to use them or the first time you look at your script is right before the meeting, those resources are not going to be as valuable to you as they are intended to be. We are all different, so the amount of practice you may need could be different from someone else. So we're going to invite you to lead yourself and give yourself as much time to practice as you need. All the details for all of this is in your handbook, so please use your handbook. Oh, we're so excited to see you lead with commitment. Oh my gosh, we're so excited. Yes, Tammy. And we want to make sure that you are an informed leader. That is so important to us. So we want to make sure you stay connected. And there are a few ways to do that. So let me go through them. The first is going to those weekly leader and development meetings that you're part of in your community, that networking, workshop, community news, and podcasts. So all of those, super important to stay connected, as well as the all leader meeting. Now, this is a meeting that currently is happening on Tuesdays at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. They are run by Jennifer, and it is organization-wide updates. So leader updates. It could be leaders that are directors or mentors or it's all of the organization leaders that go to this meeting. So valuable to get the latest of what's happening and what's coming. And then, of course, we have that Facebook Q&A group that Tammy and I just can't stop talking about. It is going to be so valuable because that is specific to the development department. So any updates that we're making to resources or to the handbook or any tweaks that we're doing, all of that will be listed inside of that Facebook Q&A group. We want to help you stay connected. We want to help you stay informed, and that will be there. And you can find all the schedules, all the details, and all of that in that back office for your leader and development meetings and things like that. So we're so excited. So much you've learned through this training. But before we wrap up, we want to make sure a few things that you don't forget. Number 1, complete all the training to prepare for your role. You're here today in this training, so please give yourself a big pat on the back. And if you want to expand as a mentor or grow in other departments, please talk to your director. We are all here to help support you as you grow into the roles that you most desire. Now, the goal for everyone, for all of us, is the 1+4 model. We are here to build together for success. So that 1+4 model, please lean into that 1+4. Reference your handbook. You're going to hear that today. You're going to continue to hear that. That is guidance for all things development. Lean into that handbook. And we just want you to know we are the difference. You are the difference that we are looking for with People for People. Thank you so much for your leadership, for doing this training, for committing to this and making a difference with People for People. We are so excited to see you thrive and lead in your role as community news leader. Congratulations, and we will see you Bye.